The JLR interview series.
Okay, so it's Saturday afternoon, around about 1:30pm. Fairly sunny day. Jazz London Radio's got a very special guest with us, someone we've interviewed in the past and really pleased to interview her again. Her name's Clare Hirst. Hi, Clare.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. And we're here because Clare is going to be performing in just over an hour's time at an interesting venue here in South London called the CLF Arts Centre in the heart of Peckham. So we're on the road for a change, so it's good to do that.
And on the roof.
On the roof, yeah. It's a nice venue actually, yeah. It's nice to play with the sun out.
Yeah, beautiful day.
Excellent. So we're here to talk, to Clare about a nice CD that she's recently brought out this year. Now, this is with the Clare Hirst and Claude Deppa Quintet.
It's a band.
And the CD is called Beyond Bahula, and it's a really nice CD, and that's what we got Clare here today to tell us more about it. So, the first thing is, can you tell us about the title of the CD, because obviously it's an interesting title.
Okay, so Claude wrote a song called Beyond Bahula, which is a tribute to Julian Bahula, who died September last year, I think. And he was a South African drummer who was exiled in London for a long time, and he worked with many different people, but he always had the roots of the South African music come through, but he was moving into jazz, and that's really where we're going, because Claude is from South Africa, so the roots of that run through everything that we do, and the rhythms, it's all there. But for this particular CD, it's very jazzy, I think. We've always played jazz anyway.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, you say he's exile. Are you talking about from the apartheid era?
Yeah. He was responsible. He was an activist, Julian Bahula, and he was responsible for setting up the famous South African jazz nights. Well, African jazz nights at the 100 Club.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's Oxford Street.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was back in the 80s anyway. But
wow.
Friday nights at the 100 Club always had African music on, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was him.
Okay, so, I mean, did you know him well as well, or...?
I knew him, yeah. I wouldn't say I knew him well, but I definitely knew him, yeah. He was all over the place, yeah.
What sort of character was he, would you say? Was he one of those fun-loving people, or was he serious?
He was very serious, but serious about having fun,
Serious.
And serious about the music and the politics and everything. Yeah.
Okay, well so it's a nice tribute, basically.
Yeah.
And, something I was going to ask you about, actually, because you said that it's very jazzy. Obviously, it's got a pulsive beat to it, because of Claude Deppa's influence. And that's something I wanted to ask you about. Your most recent CDs have been more, I think you'll agree, straight ahead.
Yes. I've done a lot of different styles of music. I've come from Cumbria, which is the middle of nowhere. Excuse me for saying that. I'll get crucified for that back home. But there's, my influences don't come from there really. I mean, I moved to Brixton when I was in my early 20s, so that's when my musical world started to really expand. And actually, I met Claude we played together in a band called the Grand Union, and we did many gigs, many workshops. The Grand Union's a real melting pot of music from all over the world. It's a massive pool of people, really.
Yeah.
And Claude introduced me to Mervyn Africa, and that's...
Oh yes, Mervyn.
Yeah, that's when I first got into playing jazz, was with those two. So it's always been in my playing, that South African influence.
That's amazing. So I mean, you're going back to the 90s here. We talking about, or?
I guess. Yeah.
Because your debut CD had a lot of different influences. I mean,
yes, it does. Yeah,
stuff
it does, but it all fuses into something that's a whole.
Yeah. Okay, and the other thing I wanted to ask you about, because listening to the tracks, and there's a really fantastic tracks on there, See, from my ears, right, because I'm not a musician, I'm just a listener. It sounds quite Afro-Caribbean to me, you see.
Yes.
But I know Claude is South African, so
Yes.
I mean, is it really that music from Southern Africa, which is not really associated with, say, West Africa, which is where the roots of the Caribbean people are mainly from? Is there really that much similarities as well, or is there some
There's a lot
differences?
of similarities. There's a use of the clave and all of that.
Oh, right,
The way this album has panned out, it's really a mixture of the five of us and a fusion of all the things we bring to it. So Siemi D, who is our drummer, he's brought in his Carnatic influence,
Is what?
from India. From India. So he does some of the tingtal on the album, but it's also in his playing too. So it's a very interesting mixture of people. Miles Danso, who has his influences he's from half Ghanaian, so half French. I don't hear many French influences, but there's also Ghanaian ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. So it's quite like a conglomeration of different sounds.
It's very London. London is like that. London is a mixture of people who now live here and made London their home, but they're not necessarily from here.
Yeah.
But that's what's exciting and wonderful about living in London,
Yeah.
It's all the different people. I mean, I can't believe I didn't meet Siemi. I only met him just before we made this album, about 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Not that we made it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But I can't believe that he's been around in London for years and years, and I never met him before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing because, I mean, there's so many different scenes going all at the same time.
Exactly.
So, okay, can you tell us, who else is on this CD, the young musicians?
Well, you've got Siemi D on the drums, Miles Danso on the double bass, and Paul Weinreb on piano, Claude Deppa on the trumpet, and me on saxophone.
Okay, I mean, did you write any of the tracks yourself? Or?
Yeah, I wrote half of them, Claude wrote the other half.
Okay, so it's a real collaboration.
Yeah, it's a real collaboration, yeah.
Okay, and I mean, you guys have been playing together, obviously, and things like that. I mean, so are you doing a mini tour, or are you doing the UK-wide one? How does it work?
We have a couple of important gigs coming up. We're part of the Folkestone Ethno Jazz Festival, so we're playing there 31st of October, and we're also doing something for the London Jazz Festival in the Royal Festival Hall.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Nice.
South Africa Day or something.
Okay, so there's going to be
Yeah, there's a whole day of stuff going on. I
That's
think
amazing.
23rd November we're on about 6 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in the festival hall, the
Yeah,
big one, the
yeah.
main one. Have you played there before in any other configuration?
I don't think so. I mean, I played in the foyer quite a few times. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be.
Haven't made it to the main stage yet, but
Wow.
one day.
Well, one day in 2 months.
I've been working a lot with the singer Ma Bessie,
Okay.
which is Julia Titus, and she sings a lot of Bessie Smith songs, so it's really early jazz, 1920s and 30s. And we have a trio called the Ma Bessie Speakeasy. We've been doing a lot of gigs. We've been doing sing dance festivals and all kind of places, and having a lot of fun with that. So that's keeping me busy.
So if that's a trio, I mean, and she's a singer, who you play saxophone, so what's the other?
It's George Webster on the piano.
Oh, so there's no rhythm
But we
section.
do have a bass player and a drummer on the bigger gigs, obviously. And Claude on trumpet when we can.
Okay.
So we played in Romania last year, that was really fun.
All right.
Big festival, and I think we're going to play at the festival in Tunisia soon, so that would be good.
Is Romania an up-and-coming place for jazzers? Someone's told me, I think Kevin Davies said he was in Romania recently as well.
I think he was, and I think it is, because there's lots of festivals going on there, and I think it's a real up-and-coming place. It was beautiful, I loved it there.
Yeah.
The Uber, the mode of transport preferred, was a horse and cart, and you'd see them go racing past the hotel.
Wow.
It's really cool country. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Have you been there before?
No.
Yeah.
But I'd love to go back again. Yeah.
Because the climate as well is it quite Mediterranean?
I think
would
so.
imagine.
Yeah. It was lovely when we were there. Yeah. Gorgeous.
But talking about that, I mean, it must be interesting just to do a trio without bass and drums, no?
Yeah, it's good. It's good because we can work out a lot of things. We're just discovering new songs that we can do all the time. So.
And the piano can play the bass, can't it? You know, the bass line and things like that.
Well, come to one of our gigs. We're at Crazy Cops, I think, on October.
Good old Crazy Cops.
Yeah.
The perfect place for that kind of...
It is, absolutely, totally. And we're also doing a week at Zadell, you know, in the restaurant part of it. Just before in October sometimes. So, that's the kind of places we like to play.
Oh, okay, well, that's good.
Toulouse-Lautrec, you know.
Yeah, yes. I just wanted to ask you about, the tracks in your record. That's very old school, isn't it? Record.
Yeah, what do you call it? Album. I suppose call it an album.
Call it? A CD.
It is a CD. We have hard copies available from Bandcamp.
Just wanted to ask you about, so you got two tracks called Slightly Aggie and Very Aggie Dub. They've got quite a Latin feel to it. I've been playing on the Latin mix on our shows on the weekends.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Slightly Aggie, that's one that I wrote. It's that feeling when, it's a very London thing, isn't it, when you've had 3 cups of coffee in the morning and your brain's racing and you're just ready to go and you know, you don't want anything getting in your way, you just want to get on with it. And that Slightly Aggie feeling. But it's got that rushing about, but it's also got, you know, when you mellow out from that and you take a deep breath and a sigh, so it has a very mellow... I can't remember what ending we put on this one because it's got 2 endings. It's either got a dead stop or it's got the mellow ending.
Oh, I see.
I don't know which one you'll get today.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll look forward to hearing which one it is. So, we just heard a train going past, so that's the rushing bit, isn't it? The
rushing bit, yeah. It's all about the trains in London. The trains and getting to and from work and to and from where you need to go.
Yeah, good old London.
Yeah, I love it.
You just mentioned about cups of coffee. It reminds me of what Steve Swallow said. He said that he gets up in the morning, the first thing is gets a cup of coffee and takes the piano, just starts composing.
Starts playing,
because he said it's so much hard work, people don't realise.
Yeah, it's the first thing in the morning thing is really good because your brain is clear then of any of your day-to-day things and it's still in your dreamy state, you know. So it's a very creative time of day. But similarly for me, late night as well. It's just the peace, actually. Anywhere where you can find peace and quiet is a good creative place to be.
Okay. Sadly, I don't think we're going to get peace and quiet right now.
Not right now.
Trouble.
Because the band's sound checking without me, so I better go.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, great.
Thank you very much.
on the bateria, Mr. CLED.
The JLR interview series.